Layovers can be a traveler's best friend or worst nightmare, depending on how prepared you are. I've learned this the hard way over the years, making mistake after mistake, including long layovers without food, sleeping on the floor, and probably the worst mistake you can make, which is missing your flight. But you don't have to make the same mistakes. Hi, I'm Ian from the Travel Coaches, and in today's video, I'm breaking down 11 common airport layover mistakes to avoid, so you can make the most out of your travel time, save money, and stay stress-free. From managing your luggage to navigating transit security, I've got you covered, especially mistake number 10, being that this can really ruin your travel day mood, and it's a mistake that most people don't even realize that they are making. Let's get into it. Number 1, not planning your layover. I will never forget our first international flight layover at the beautiful Singapore Changi Airport. We had grand intentions to explore this one-of-a-kind airport, including seeing the butterfly garden and even the Jewel, which, by the way, isn't actually in the airport. We had a 10-hour overnight layover, which would have gave us plenty of time to see everything. The problem was our layover was overnight, so everything was closed.
Feeling a lot of the stuff we're going to be looking to check out is going to be closed.
Also, because we had done zero planning, we had no idea where to rest comfortably or even find food. So learn from us and research your layover airport ahead of time. Know where you can relax, what's open, and even if there's anything cool to check out. These days, most of our layover planning revolves around airport lounges. So we can have a comfortable place to relax and avoid the expensive, unhealthy airport food to get free food in the airport lounges. However, finding airport lounges can sometimes be difficult, and the requirements to get in are sometimes complex. So doing that research ahead of time will help you get more time in these amazing lounges. You should also note that some of these more popular lounges will have time limits that you should be aware of. Number 2, not being aware of your layover time. This should also be a part of the planning process, but I left it separate because it is that important. It can be easy to lose track of time in an airport lounge. It can be easy to fall asleep. It can be easy to walk further away from your gate than you think. It can be easy to get stuck in a restaurant. Understanding how much time you actually have on your layover will help you decide what you plan to do on that layover. For example, if you only have a 1-hour layover, I would not recommend stopping for a bite to eat. You should also remember that flights will often board 30 to 60 minutes before the plane is actually set to leave. There are a few other things that you should keep in mind I will cover later in this video as well. Number 3, forgetting to pick up your checked luggage. This is a big one, especially if you booked your flights separately. For example, you booked Spirit Airlines from Minneapolis to Los Angeles, but booked Singapore Airlines from Los Angeles to Singapore. Meg and I actually do this very often because we can sometimes get a cheaper fare booking like this. If your flights aren't with the same airline or aren't on one booking, you'll likely need to pick up your checked baggage and recheck it, which again takes time that you will need to account for. This happened to us coming back from Italy into Newark, and it ended up taking us an extra hour and a half to recheck our luggage. Thankfully, we had enough time on our layover. On the other hand, if you're flying with the same airline, they usually handle this for you, but I recommend double checking with the airline if you're at all concerned. Number 4, not considering transit security or customs. You will need to go through transit security or customs when you are connecting to a different flight at an international airport, meaning you are arriving in one country, then departing to another on a connecting flight, requiring you to clear immigration and customs at the transit airport to enter that country before continuing to your final destination. Again, taking extra time. This can be a confusing process for people when they go through it the first time, because people question, wait, I have to go through security again? I already went through security. I have a long story about this that I might share someday about my brief time in India and a drone going through transit security, but it is too long for this video.
For the first time ever, Ian cannot bring the drone in his carry-on bag. So he's currently frantically trying to figure out how to get it into.
So I will just say that I almost missed my flight and I had to clear customs 4 different times. Not ideal. People often ask me, what is the ideal time for a layover? In the experiences that I have had, I don't like to have much less than 1 hour for domestic flights, but would prefer 2 hours. And for international flights, I don't like to have much less than 2 hours, but would prefer 3. This is all based on the stuff we've talked about in today's videos thus far. But let's be clear, I've had international layovers that are less than 1 hour, but I would definitely not recommend it. Number 5, not asking for help. Don't underestimate the power of asking for help. Whether you're lost, stressed, or confused about something, airport staff are there to assist. A quick question can save you a lot of time and hassle. Even if we are doing the right things, we can still have difficult layover experiences. What is the most stressful experience you have ever had on a layover? I would love to hear your stories in the comments below. Also, if you are finding value in this video so far, please give it a thumbs up, as well as maybe share it with a fellow traveler that is always making some of these mistakes. Number 6, lack of attention to personal items. Keeping track of all of your stuff can be easier said than done at times. Here are some things that I've found to make sure that no mistakes happen when it comes to losing things or getting stuff stolen. I make sure to have a safe place for all of my valuables, like my passport, ID, cash, and things of that nature. I typically keep most of these things in my money belt, and if not my money belt, a secret pocket in my backpack or pants. The key is to have valuables in a place that is easy to access, but only for you. Next, I do my best to not overpack. The more stuff you pack, the more bags you bring, the more you have to keep track of. You know what they say, more stuff, more problems. Or at least that's what I say. Next, if you plan to doze off, you still need to have a plan to keep track of all of your stuff. I like to keep in contact with all of my stuff. This goes for not only in airports, but really in any public transportation. Lots of stuff gets stolen while people fall asleep. Last but not least, never let strangers watch any of your stuff. Number 7, ignoring flight updates. Airports change gates and schedules all the time. Don't rely on your airplane's app for real-time updates, though it is important to have your airline app downloaded on your phone. Make sure to also check the screens at your gate and the boards around the airport, and even listen for announcements. Number 8, overspending. Have you ever noticed that when you get off an airplane or go through security, you're forced to walk right through all of the shops and restaurants? Have you ever noticed that there's always those massage chairs at the end of really long hallways or long walks? Not to mention, everything you buy in the airport is on average 10% more expensive than the same products outside the airport. Airports are specifically designed to make you spend money, from fancy shops to overpriced meals. Be mindful of your budget and try to bring snacks or water bottles to refill. It's all about being prepared and resisting temptation. Number 9, ignoring your health. Traveling is hard on the body and can make you very tired, but don't let that be an excuse to not prioritize your health on a layover. Layovers are a perfect time to take care of your body. Walk around, stretch. Yes, I know the floors are gross, but we do it anyway. And drink plenty of water. Try to eat something light and healthy. Your body will thank you during that next long flight. Number 10, resting or sleeping in the wrong place. Sleeping in the wrong spot can ruin your layover. Avoid areas with high traffic or close to boarding gates where noise is constant. Many airports have designated nap zones or quiet lounges. Take advantage of those. And if you are like us, staying close to the gate is a must. But be strategic about where you settle. Even better, get yourself a travel credit card so you can rest peacefully in a lounge. I have some of my favorite travel credit cards linked below. Number 11, not preparing for delays. Delays happen and you want to make sure you handle them like a pro. Make sure that you have everything that you might need if a delay happens packed in a carry-on or personal item. This includes things like chargers, medications, toothbrushes, and even a change of clothes. There is nothing worse than a long delay in not having what you need to be comfortable. It is also very important to understand your rights as a traveler, so you know how to handle the situation with as little stress as possible. If you're curious to learn more about your rights as a traveler when it comes to delayed flights or even cancellations, I will link a video below where I go over all of the details you should know as a traveler. Layovers don't need to be stressful if you avoid these common mistakes. If you enjoyed this video, I would also recommend checking out the video we made about the unwritten rules of the airport. We go into a lot more mistakes that travelers make at the airport without even realizing it. If you enjoyed this one though, please give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We will see you in the next video.